Imagine getting an alert on your phone on a Wednesday telling you that you're going to suffer a minor heart attack next Tuesday at 4 p.m.
Which is a terrifying notification to get, by the way.
Right. But then it's followed instantly by a second alert saying a customized medication is already arriving to prevent it. Welcome to today's Deep Dive. I'm your host, and my mission today is to explore how the convergence of AI, quantum computing, and biotechnology is actively redefining what it means to be human.
And I'm your resident expert for this deep dive into the Future Tech 2026 report. It's pretty wild because radical life extension is rapidly moving from sci-fi to, like, engineering 101.
Yeah, exactly. So let's jump right into the foundation of all this, which the report calls the longevity stack.
Right, the longevity stack. It basically starts with predicting disease way before it happens. They outline the development of whole-body digital twins.
And this isn't just like a basic virtual avatar of yourself, right?
Yeah.
No, not at all. They're taking massive data sets, your genetics, your protein structures, high-res imaging, and combining it with real-time data from next-gen wearables.
Wearables that do a lot more than just count your steps.
Yeah, exactly. They're continuously interpreting biological signals to catch silent conditions. Things like cognitive decline months before you'd ever feel a single symptom.
Okay, let's unpack this. It essentially means your digital twin acts like a flight simulator for your body.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Like you can crash a plane in a simulation to see what caused the engine failure,
Yeah.
right? And then you just avoid making that exact mistake in the real world.
Yeah, you're modeling a disease or a drug reaction virtually first. And then, once you know what's coming, you move to the second layer of the stack, which is biological repair.
Where they talk about senolytics.
Right. Senolytics hunt down senescent cells. These are the so-called zombie cells.
Zombie cells.
Yeah. They've stopped dividing, but they refuse to die. They just linger there and cause severe inflammation that ages your surrounding tissues. So senolytics clear out the graveyard.
But clearing out the bad stuff doesn't actually rebuild the tissue.
No, it doesn't.
That's where CRISPR epigenetic resetting comes in. I was trying to wrap my head around this. It's not literally rewriting your DNA code, is it?
No, not exactly. It's more like...
It's like scrubbing off the chemical tags that accumulate on your DNA over time.
Yes. You wipe the slate clean, so an old cell essentially resets to a young state. It's cellular reprogramming without losing the cell's original identity.
That is insane. And to deliver these treatments,
We use intelligent nanocarriers. They physically react to the mechanics of disease tissue. They only deploy their targeted drugs when the surrounding physical environment is perfectly matched.
okay, but if we're at the point where we can predict and, indefinitely repair the biological body, we hit a bottleneck.
The brain.
Right, the human brain's processing speed. Like, how do we keep up with these external systems?
Which forces the transition to brain-computer interfaces. BCIs. The clinical applications are already profound. We're seeing high-density neural threads restoring fluid movement to paralyzed individuals.
Bypassing spinal injuries entirely.
Exactly. And there's also human-in-the-loop cognitive augmentation. Say you're a surgeon or an air traffic controller, the system actively monitors your mental load.
To catch cognitive fatigue and step in to prevent human error.
Yeah, precisely.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The report outlines a 2026 roadmap for synthetic telepathy, actual brain-to-brain communication.
Via digital relays.
Yeah, I have to push back here. I mean, healing a severed spine is one thing, but synthetic telepathy, doesn't that cross a massive line?
It's controversial, for sure.
Aren't we altering the final private sanctuary of human thought? I'm just trying to impartially present what the report brings up here.
It's a very real concern, and the report acknowledges that friction. But the engineering argument is that synthetic telepathy isn't about, like, broadcasting your inner monologue to the world.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right. It's more about transferring complex concepts instantly without the clumsy filter of spoken language. But, it absolutely blurs the boundary between human intent and machine execution.
Especially when you factor in agentic AI.
Yeah. Systems executing complex, multi-step physical tasks independently. Or humanoid robots learning warehouse tasks just by observing us.
So the bandwidth of human communication literally has to widen for us to coordinate with them.
Exactly. We have to keep up.
But to even manage that kind of bandwidth, like processing the data for a digital twin or routing synthetic telepathy, classical computers just aren't enough.
No, they physically hit a wall. They can't simulate molecular interactions at that scale, which is where the quantum AI synergy takes over.
The accelerator.
Right. Quantum computers process massive possibilities simultaneously. It's how the preclinical phase of drug discovery for undruggable proteins has been shrunk from years down to mere weeks.
Wait, weeks?
Yeah, weeks.
But quantum computers are famously unstable, right?
They are.
The report mentions a Harvard breakthrough this year where AI slashed quantum error rates by 100,000 times. How does AI actually fix that?
What's fascinating here is that the AI does it by anticipating the chaos.
Anticipating it.
Yeah, quantum bits or qubits, they lose their state incredibly easily due to environmental noise.
Right.
So the AI in this Harvard breakthrough essentially learned the patterns of that instability. It predicts and corrects the particle errors before they actually derail the calculation.
Oh, wow. So that 100,000 times reduction is basically the ultimate master key.
It really is. It accelerates everything we just talked about, allowing those cellular simulations and digital twins to be perfectly precise.
So what does this all mean? For you listening, it all points to longevity escape velocity.
The tipping point.
Exactly. The point where for every single year you stay alive, science extends your lifespan by more than a year.
No, we aren't at true biological immortality today. Let's be clear about that.
Right, not yet.
But better sensors, precise epigenetic scrubbing, and stable quantum simulations, these are the actual mechanical bricks being laid right now to achieve it.
We are quite literally watching the blueprints being drafted in real time.
Yeah.
But I want to leave you with a question to chew on as we wrap up this deep dive.
It's a big one.
If these 2026 breakthroughs eventually do guarantee you centuries of healthy life, how will losing that ticking clock of mortality change what gives your daily life meaning and urgency today?
Welcome to this custom deep dive into the Future Innovations Report spanning 2026 to 2050. You mentioned a desire for immortality recently, and, looking at the data, the math says we are less than a decade away from making that a medical reality.
Right, and our mission today is really mapping out exactly how that happens. I mean, we aren't just marveling at new gadgets here. We are tracking a fundamental pivot where technology transitions from merely assisting us to completely rewriting the human experience.
Through the total digitization of biology, right?
Exactly. It's a huge shift.
And let's unpack this, starting with the biology side. The report talks about epigenetic reprogramming using Yamanaka factors. Is this basically like doing a factory reset on a sluggish smartphone to turn old cells young again?
Yeah, that is an excellent way to visualize it. You aren't changing the DNA itself. You are basically stripping away the chemical degradation that accumulates over time so the cell can read its original healthy instructions.
Oh, wow. So it literally just resets.
It does. And this is the biological foundation for reaching longevity escape velocity.
Which is that tipping point where for every year you survive, science extends your life expectancy by more than a year, right?
Right, exactly. But we have to stop the body from actively destroying itself while we wait for those advanced treatments to hit the market. That is where senolytics come in.
To hunt down zombie cells.
Yes, zombie cells. Normally damaged cells just die off and get cleared out, but they just refuse to die. They just sit there secreting toxins that cause systemic inflammation.
Which drives the whole aging process.
Precisely. Senolytics purge them. And then you combine that cellular cleanup with the 2030 projections for 3D printing spare organs from your own stem cells and CRISPR 2.0 acting as a molecular search and replace tool.
But wait, to achieve all this biological age reversal, we have to solve molecular puzzles way faster than the human brain actually allows. Like, to hit that escape velocity, we need a totally new kind of intelligence.
What's fascinating here is that biological limitation is exactly why the intelligence paradigm shifts in 2026. We move past generative AI into agentic AI.
So AI that actually does things.
Right. Autonomous agents capable of reasoning, planning, and executing complex workflows without any human intervention. Agentic AI is out there simulating millions of chemical reactions in the cloud, condensing a decade of traditional drug discovery into just a few months.
So what does this all mean? Are we just building our replacements? Because the report details mass-produced humanoid robots from Tesla, Figure, and Xiaomi moving off factory floors and directly into domestic settings for household labor and elderly care.
Well, it's definitely a radical shift in the labor force, sure, but the immediate crisis isn't replacement, it's consumption.
Wait, really? Consumption?
Yeah. Think about the direct causality here. If agentic AI cures aging and automates physical labor, humanity's resource footprint and energy consumption are going to absolutely skyrocket. Earth physically won't have the power or land to support that.
Oh, I see. So breaking free from Earth's physical constraints isn't just exploratory, it's like a mandatory survival mechanism.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is a mathematical certainty. We will have to outsource our resource-heavy infrastructure. That is why we're seeing the push for space-based solar power.
Beaming clean energy down 24/7 via microwaves?
Exactly. You bypass weather and the day-night cycle. Plus, moving heavy industry off-world makes practical sense when you look at microgravity manufacturing. In space, you don't have gravity creating convection currents, so you can make ultra-pure fiber optics.
Because gravity actively ruins certain manufacturing processes down here.
It fundamentally changes the physics of production.
Yeah.
And you pair that industrial shift with nuclear thermal propulsion cutting Mars trips by 40%, and, well, the solar system becomes our new economic zone.
That is wild. But bringing it back to your daily life on the ground right now, this revolution is already rewiring things. You've got near-zero latency earbuds running real-time translation, which basically turns language learning into a niche skill. And your smart wearables are powering personalized precision medicine.
You know, when you synthesize all of this, the AI, the space infrastructure, the targeted medicine, true longevity now means maintaining the body's informational integrity. We have to treat biology like code that needs continuous debugging rather than just waiting for symptoms to pop up.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If we pull this off and we hit that longevity escape velocity, where you mathematically gain more than 1 year of life expectancy for every single year you manage to survive, how does having a potentially infinite lifespan change the way you value a single ordinary day?